Hello and welcome back to From Dull Square to Where. This is the ninth edition of A&R Super Sunday Q&A with me and Ryan. How are you doing, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. As I said before we went live, new season's finally arrived. We won. We upset the broadcasters. We won a game away from home, under the lights. Like I say, comfortably. We'll get into it, but it technically kind of was. It was just we made it look hard work.
Yeah, we did.
I'll explain
Well, in
more
some
later on.
cases, I think we're going to look back on that win and realise what a great win that was as the season progresses, as they keep turning over big teams at Selhurst Park, because they are a very, very good side. So
What Vieira's done in under just over 12 months now, when you compared what they were under Roy Hodgson, is fantastic. Nothing beyond that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean. I think we're going to look back on it and think, wow, that was a really good win. Because we had to hold on, not hold on as such, but we were under the cosh for a while. But that's going to be expected by them at home with their crowd, with the good team that they've got under Vieira now. So I think we did really, really well. It was a great away performance, really, in lots of ways. But what really pissed me off was he doesn't even try and hide it anymore. The biased commentary by Martin Tyler and so on.
Yeah.
And I texted out at the time, tweeted out rather at the time. We were attacking. We were 1-0 up. And it was during our really good sort of first half hour of the game. And actually, no, it wasn't. It wasn't then. Because it was later on. Because they were just about to make a substitution, but we were attacking at that point. We were 1-0 up. And he was talking about the sub that was just about to come on. I can't remember who it was.
Marteta, or what his name is.
Maybe one of them. But he said, well, he's just about ready to come on. Hopefully, it will still be 1-0 when he gets on. And I was thinking,
I'm saying.
Honestly, I just think he's not even trying to hide it anymore, Martin.
No,
he's
exactly.
Absolute twat.
So when people that are listening to this back or watching this now or watching this back later, when the fixtures came out and it was straight away, the second the fixtures came out, they had already decided who's going to kick the season off, who's going to be over the opening weekend. The fact it was a Friday, it was decided that Arsenal away to Palace, Selhurst Park, under the lights was going to be perfect for Sky because they wanted a repeat of last year.
Yeah,
it's so obvious. It goes to make the point of when we're saying things that they want what they want with what we've just said. They want us to lose. They want us to fail. To have that big clickbaity headline over the weekend and dig us out all weekend, all back to match day 2. It's genuine. They do want that. They're not hiding it anymore, as you say. I mean, before the game even kicked off, we went even live on my channel for the watch along. I was watching the build up. Going there on Jamie Coger outside talking to Crystal Palace fans.
Yeah, I know.
Still an Arsenal fan. I know Crystal Palace is the home team, but come on, you can surely find a few Arsenal fans, get their thoughts and things as well. They don't bother.
No, it was just that particular moment because there was loads of other moments in the commentary, but when he said, "Hopefully, it will still be 1-0 when he gets on," I just thought, "Oh, come on, man! This is just absolutely ridiculous now."
Was it Martin Tyler that was doing about the officiating, the commentating?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he might as well have been doing the officiating.
He's made stupid comments this week, hasn't he, about Hillsborough? So there's a recording. There's a recording of an interview that he'd done a while ago. It's it's leaked out this week. Or it's resurfaced, one of the two. And basically, he's referring to the Hillsborough. And the gist of it is basically the gist of the thing, the clip that went out was basically he refers to Hillsborough as hooliganism, and it was just down to hooligans basically. Hooligans and football, this, that, and the other. It's come a long way. The gist of the football in the whole of the country's come a long way. When you look back to Hillsborough and other incidences, like other incidences of hooliganism, and it just stops there. And he's like, seriously, Okay, cool. So there's people calling for these out already on the socials.
Well, do you know what I mean? Not just because of that, but I just think it's time to put him out to grass anyway. To be honest with you, he's losing his mind,
hasn't he? But this is the thing. This thing of Sky is they've got no one lined up to replace him full time. Because the others they have the other ones that that are the main commentators of other games over the weekend. They're crap.
Yeah, well, surely there must be someone they can bring in.
You watch it, put fucking Jerry Cogan and fucking Neville in charge as a replacement.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, just going back onto the actual football itself as well, and I put another thing I put out on Twitter. I said, I'm obviously not getting carried away, but Saliba is clearly the best defender that's ever lived or walked the face of the earth. But I mean, yeah, but do you know what really reminded me of his debut for Arsenal in the Premier League? Reminded me of a certain other person's debut. Who can you think who it was? Not the same position or anything like that, but
I'm trying to think recent wise. What Premier League? You're talking about Premier League, aren't you? Not just talking about debut in general.
Yeah, not.
Trying to Alexis?
No, bit before his time.
Bit before what? Oh, this century or the last century, as in because it was in late 90s or
late 90s.
Okay, it helps. Okay, right. Yeah.
There was a particularly stunning debut for someone.
Oh, bloody hell, this is late 90s. Anelka?
No.
Can't think.
One last guess.
Is it what part of the pitch are they playing in?
The midfield.
Midfield, yeah.
Someone's got it. Don't look at the comments, but someone's got it. Someone's got it.
90s, yeah, definitely 90s.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be French by any chance, would he?
Yeah. I just saw you flick your eyes to the screen. No, it doesn't matter. Anyway.
I'm literally looking at my window.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah. A certain Patrick Vieira. I remember his debut being everyone thinking, wow, what a player we've got here. Just not, I mean, I can't say they weren't really expecting it from Saliba. In some ways we were because of the season he had yesterday. But, I said the season he had yesterday. The season he had last season, sorry. But,
and the season before.
Yeah. But wow, I mean, you can't get much of a better, debut for Arsenal, really, can you, than what he produced at the weekend? I think his best quality is almost his calmness, overall. Because, I mean, obviously he's a fantastic footballer, a brilliant defender. But I know it's early days, clearly, but it was a tough test. It's a tough test. I mean, they're not the best players in the world, Mateta and the strikers they've got up front, but they really battle.
Yeah, you got to think in terms of starting 11, you had like Eze, Zaha, Jordan Ayew, and I can't remember who's up front now. Edward, all different types of attackers in their own way, but they all have pace. They have a bit of physicality about them. They all have different traits that could cause us problems. But he just seemed to deal with it. Like again, I know the last Sevilla game was a pre-season game, but we saw Saliba for the first time in person. Because we watched him over the pre-season, but in person, you've seen a lot more of him. And as I say, he's so calm with ball at the feet. He at that Sevilla game, go back to the week before. I think there's one point, I'm trying to think now, first half, he had 3 Sevilla players around him, ball to feet, and he got out of it. He got out of it. It wasn't like he had a massive space to get out of it. It's literally on top of him.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
His ball control is fantastic. His calmness, fantastic. He's a unit as well. And people tend to forget this. Think another rival fans think we're just deluded by overhyping him, as they say. But he's from day one. He's always been a big, strong defender. But sending him out alone since obviously Saint Etienne and then obviously Nice for 6 months and then Marseille, has done nothing but wonders because he's come back, getting all, like he said when he first signed for us, he wanted to get the mistakes out of his system and mold his trade and basically perfect it so he can come back and not have any sort of instant mistakes in him where it could cost us points. He wanted to come back the complete player. What was he? 20? He's only 21, 22. That majority when he was.
He said he literally just. Well, I say just. I think I listened to a podcast earlier, and they said he was 21 in March. So he's still only within his 21st year. Can you imagine what he's going to be like in 2, 3, 4 years' time? He's just going to be unbelievable. But yes, he's going to get better.
He can only get better.
But he's going to have bigger tests coming up, isn't he? Obviously this season. But that's why I love the major quality I mentioned earlier. His calmness on the ball. That will help him so much in the Premier League, regardless of who he comes up against. He's going to come up against better players than he came up against Palace, but they are strong. They are strong players, big units themselves, and
they've got a bit of pace with them as well. And they have all different individual traits that could cause him problems, and he dealt with it all. And another thing I noticed as well, not just on Friday but the week before, in person. His awareness of his entire surroundings, not just the opponent but his teammates. If he notices someone's out of position or could potentially be caught out, he's on it. He covers them. He makes it look effortless. He's playing again. I don't come across overhyping him, but he is playing like a seasoned pro defender.
Yeah, definitely.
Not even 24 hours later, Van Dijk done something that Saliba would be expected to do, but we'll get onto that later.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was a great performance from him. There was a number of good performances. I think everyone did a good job actually at the weekend. I can't think of anyone that actually let the team down at all. We're going to have. I mean, Ramsdale kept us in the game with 2 amazing saves, I think. But there was that error where he kicked the ball against someone closing him down. It was too close to him. But that for me is it's going to happen with the way that he is asked to play in this team as well, by playing it out. It's not something that we all any one of us enjoy seeing by any stretch of imagination. But I think because we're Arsenal fans, we've got our own eyes on our own Arsenal players more than anything, and we're talking about them all the time. I bet if you ask the Liverpool fans and Man City fans, they will say the same thing happens to their goalkeeper a lot. I don't watch them week in, week out, but I'm sure that they make sort of similar errors when they're passing out from the back from time to time as well. So it was a bit of a concern, but then he goes and pulls off two great saves. So it was. I think it was a really, really good away performance. We were under the cosh for a while, but we handled it. Apart from those 2 saves that Ramsdale made, I can't remember any other real chances that they carved out, Crystal Palace. I don't know about you, but I think that they were the 2 main ones. I can't hear you, Ryan. You're on mute.
Sorry. No, I was just saying, literally, even after my stream, basically, I went back and watched the game throughout again the whole 90 minutes. And I've got to say, like you say, it wasn't as bad as people made out to be. In the sense of, when I say as bad, I mean in the sense of people think, no, we're shit, we fell off the cliff. Yeah, we started off well. We were. That was the first half hour, 35 minutes of that game. The first half, anyway, was the best I've seen of Arsenal in a long time in terms of even better. I'd say even better start than the Man City game on New Year's Day. Jesus was a nuisance to their defence, but we knew. I think the players knew, Arteta knew, and the coaches individually. We all knew as a whole that we're away from home. At some point, with Vieira as a manager as well, look what he's done in the last 12 months. At some point, they will go into this game, and they are going to have a period of the game where they're going to have all the ball. It's how we dealt with it in that time frame. And for me, look again, watching it back, we did pretty well actually. You think about it, as you say, 2 chances they had clear cut. One near the end of the first half, which Xhaka put off the Edouard. I think it was Edouard anyway. And then that was it. One major chance in the second half that I can remember. Apart from that, they didn't really create anything to cause us any problems as a whole. And Ben White, again, we haven't mentioned him yet, but Ben White playing on the right back against Zaha for the entire 90 minutes. There's a few times where he sort of stepped, how can I put it? He looked a bit out of sorts. He looked a bit like he needed to take a bit of a deep breath and go again. But as a whole, I think he dealt with Zaha even perfectly. He frustrated the hell out of Zaha. And he's not, as you say, a natural right back. He's played there before, don't get me wrong, but he's not natural, is he? Especially at Arsenal, he's played predominantly centre back. Exactly. And I think it's confidence wise, while we've got Tomiyasu out as well. Even if we have Tomiyasu back, it's confidence wise of Ben White knowing that he's how he performed on Friday night, and hopefully it continues on to Leicester. I don't know how long Tomiyasu is going to be out for. The Leicesters, the Bournemouths of this world, and just take it game by game. Don't overthink it. Don't overdo it, and you'll be fine. Zinchenko as well started off well, had a bit of dip near the end before he came off, but again, another fantastic debut. What more can you ask for? Solid performance, got an assist, the best assist in the world, all the space in the world, donked it back to Martinelli. What more can you ask for from a defender? I don't know.
It's great, yeah. Really, really good.
No, yeah. My only frustration was, as a whole, was Odegaard. I think in terms of the chance, I think we all know what I mean. The chance where Jesus passes it to him on a plate, and all he has to do is hit it first time at goal, and there's a chance it goes in 2-0. And I said during my stream, it was like, because we'll talk back about it, it was like literally watching Ozil. In terms of ball will come to him, he'll be in the goal scoring, the best position ever to score, but he won't. Instead of going for the goal, he'll think, "No, I'll pass it off to someone else." I want him to be greedy. I want him to. And we've seen it. The thing is, he can do it. We've seen it last year.
And he scored my favourite goal pre-season, like I said to you before, as well. With his that touch was amazing, but he should have hit that. The one, if I'm thinking right, is the one where he should have hit it with his right foot straight away. But I've just got some comments coming in.
I've noticed in the chat since started. Yeah. In terms of Victoria's question about the T-shirts, I'm on it.
Yeah, definitely. I've started a few of those, so I'm going to come on to those. But ask brothers Ryan, the other Ryan, as we always say, right? Thanks for joining us. You've put a note in saying, "Have we seen your question in the chat?" Now, Ryan, my question is, can I play them out? Can I play those voice chats out, Ryan? And actually, so you're asking the question yourself, or should I avoid them because I haven't listened to them yet? So will I get taken off air if I play your voice notes out, mate? So just put
me a note in there. Put me on mute and I'll check for you.
Yeah, okay. Go and do that then. That'd be good. I'll just say a few hellos before we sort of crack on with the questions. So yeah, I'm just scrolling up. Come on. So yeah, hello to Richard. Hello. Thanks for your comments. Hello to Victoria. And hello to Ryan, as I mentioned. Hello to Shane. Hello to Russ. It's great to see you all here. Tavares scored an absolute banger apparently today, which I haven't seen yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Ramsey scored well for Nice.
And Ramsey scored his first touch, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolute. And Victoria's put a note there saying, shout out to Aaron Ramsey, who scored in his debut at Nice with his first touch. Brilliant. And she met Saliba when he signed for Arsenal. I remember when he was sitting in the crowd at Watford away.
I remember that now, yeah. That's so weird watching that. It seemed the camera's panned to the ground and Saliba's are sitting there, and the fans are not Clock Tom.
Yeah, that's right. I remember. And Colonel said it's going to be hot again next week. Apparently, can't stand it now. Don't say that, Colonel. We'll be gone before we know it. And I wanted to carry on for the week after that because I'm away on holiday that week. So just telling you now, there won't be any podcasts from me the week after next because I'm going away for a well-earned break. But I want that hot heat wave to extend from next week just to cover that week, and I'll be happy. So yeah, let's go on to some of the questions. Sorry, did you say you listened to those questions, mate?
It's one question, one voice note. It's Arsenal related.
Great.
So it's okay. It's all okay.
First one or the second one? Is it
the first one? Just the first one is just air sound. The second one. Yeah, second one.
Thank you for that. I won't bother with the first one. Right, I'm going to play it then, Ryan. If you're listening, if you're still in the chat, 1 second.
Hey guys, hope it's not too late for a question. Question is, what's going on with Norton Cuffy? We haven't really heard anything about him as far as a loan, which is something that I think he needs to get. The U21s is not enough for him, and now that Ben White is playing right back for us, you have Ben White, Cedric, Tomiyasu. So where do you guys think is the best fit for him as far as a loan move? Or do we think he's going to leapfrog Cedric that Tomiyasu's injured? Love to know what you guys think. Thank you.
Great question. Thank you for that, Ryan. Yeah, it's gone really quiet regarding him and loans. I cannot believe that we're not going to send him out on loan. Personally, I don't think that the under-21s.
I think we're just looking for the right fit now.
Yeah. And when Charlie Patino got left out of the American tour, we were all really sort of weirded out a bit by that as well, weren't we? We weren't expecting that. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he goes to Blackpool. And did you see?
They love him already.
No, did you see that video of all the Blackpool fans singing his name?
Yeah.
That shivers down my spine. Can you imagine? And I saw a couple of tweets saying, right, 20 minutes of Charlie Patino, and I already know this guy's a legend from a Blackpool fan. And it's just great to hear. I mean, I'm really, really buzzing for it. And I hope it goes well. I hope it goes through the season injury-free and really gets a good season under his belt. But I think a loan is very much on the cards for him. I can't see him playing for the under-21s this year. I think he's well below him now. So we have to wait and see.
Sorry. Slightly refer to the documentary, first 3 episodes of the documentary. Do you think this loan for Charlie is going to be pretty similar to what the Smith Rowe loan was to Huddersfield in Arteta's mind? It's not for him. It won't be just about the football. The football you're playing. It's about what sort of character and how you're developing as a character over the season within the change.
Yeah, very much so. I don't think there's any doubt in his ability. He's grown a lot as well. We all saw the photos in pre-season. He looks much bigger, stronger than he used to. That was always my main worry, but with him, that he couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag. So I think it's all about gaining strength, getting the rhythm of playing against men week in, week out. And yeah, I very much think that's the case, mate. Well,
there seems to be a trend of our players, though. They come through. They look like sticks. Miguel started it off. Looked like a stick. Come June, he started building up. Last year, Charlie, you just said, he's now built up. So who? Out of interest, is anyone that's just a stick that's a breakthrough in our team that's a build up like a brick house by June?
Fabio Vieira. We'll see him all of a sudden. He'll come out like a rippling. He'll make his debut like a rippling Hulk.
He'll be a mini Akinfenwa.
I don't know what they're feeding him down at our canteen, but it's doing them good. I mean, Norton Cuffy, he's already built like a brick shit house anyway. He's a proper unit. So I've got no worries about him there. But yeah, I think it'll just be announced all of a sudden, Ryan. That's what I think. That all of a sudden the right loan will come out somewhere.
Yeah. I think it'll be near the end of the window as well.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for that, mate. I'm going to go on to another question. You've already answered the first one. Do you think we should get If That Was Xhaka t-shirts printed? I think that'd be amazing. Yeah,
now you've mentioned it, Vic. I'm on it. Don't worry, and you'll be the first to get one.
Great idea. And she's also added an extra one, which I was absolutely fuming in the game on Friday. Is Xhaka a marked man? Now,
yeah, it's going.
It's almost becoming a parody, isn't it? Really, let's be honest. It's a bit of a parody now. When he got booked for diving, I think it was a bit harsh anyway because there was enough contact for most people to go down that don't get booked. So that was a very much If That Was Xhaka moment because it happened. But then he goes, you get Eze doing exactly the same thing, and they go and he just had a quick word with him. No card.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is embarrassing now. It's purely got a stamp marked on his head, like a tattoo, that I am Granit Xhaka, book me. Yeah. Because it's just so.
We've seen over the weekend as well, not just in Premier League, we'll touch on the other games in Premier League, but in the Championship, there was a game in the Championship, Max Evans got a challenge where the opposing players literally studs up, full studs into his shin pad, and it's so aggressive and made contact. No card was given, by the way, but he's out to the game, took his shin pad off, and there's a massive gash down that hole his lower leg. But there was no booking, no red card, no respective action. He's had to go off injured. There's a massive gash in his leg, bleeding out, even at full time.
Yeah.
In terms of Premier League, yesterday, them knocked down the road at home to Southampton. I can't remember who it was now. I can't remember if it was Dyer now. It might have been Dyer or some of that ilk. Or it might have been Højbjerg.
Oh, no, it's Romero.
Absolutely disgraceful challenge. A red card at any other game. Romero, that's it. Romero, sorry. Disgraceful challenge. Any other player for any other team would be sent off. The fact it goes to VAR as well nowadays, and they saw that, they see that back and go, no, it's all good. And then today we've seen Tomine almost literally take someone's foot off.
I know.
Got a booking. The VAR look at it. Well, that's okay, no problem. That's okay, that's no problem. Martinez goes through Welbeck like a train into the ball. Everyone's saying it's a penalty. The commentators, everyone, the whole world saying it's a penalty. And the commentator went to VAR. The commentator said, we're listening. We can hear what they're saying, and they said it's okay.
It's because it's Old Trafford, and it's ridiculous. They should have been 3-0 up at that point after scoring a penalty, and then it goes to 2-1 because of a handball goal.
That was bizarre as well. That was bizarre. I'm sorry, because again the commentator says, the rules changed because if that happened last season, it would be ruled out because he's deliberately done it. He's moved his arm in a deliberate way to push that ball in that direction. If he doesn't do that, that goal doesn't happen. But at the end of the day, it's a handball then. He's deliberately, no matter what you say about it leading to a direct goal or not, he has deliberately done an action where it's hit his arm as a handball, and it's led to he's gained an advantage from it. So we're going to see all season now things like that occasionally pop up because it's been gotten away with, and occasionally, once in a blue moon, probably an Arsenal game, we'll get pulled up on it. I guarantee it. Because again, the inconsistencies of this league.
No, exactly.
What's his name? It's his last season as well. The top honcho, Knobhead. I've forgotten his name now.
Mike Riley.
That's it. It's his last season, isn't it? So he wants to go out with a fucking bang by the looks of it because he's changed all the rules again, and the controversy, even with with video assistant help, we're getting clangers. It is like when they forced this through in the end, the VAR system, it was like, we've called for it, but we're still going to be controversial and cause controversy to add to drama for people to come and watch it still. So what was the point? You may as well just left it as it was.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm going to move on to the other questions so we can make sure we can get in if we can. I'll come back to your other one in a second, Victoria. But I'm going to move on to the one from Shane. Shane Curtin, thank you very much for sending it in. So, do Tommy and Tierney come back in when fully fit? He thinks so. I mean, let me just.
I think Tierney's got a fight.
I think this is only my personal opinion. I would definitely bring back in Tierney and move. Bloody hell, help me out a second. Thank you. You know what my brain's like nowadays. I'll move Zinchenko further forward, so he's in the Xhaka role, you get all the Xhaka lovers, and I've been very much complimentary of Xhaka the last couple of seasons. I think he's had a really good time. He played well again, against Crystal Palace. It is a problem that he's always in trouble because of his name. But I would drop him to the bench and I'd put Zinchenko in the position that he's playing in. That's what I would do, because I just think Tierney offers us that little bit of extra on that side of defence. And for all his amazing qualities with Zinchenko on the ball, of which there are many, he's fantastic. I absolutely love him. But the ball is easy to put over his head for the opposition winger to attack that space. And we're going to see that a lot this season if he carries on playing left back all the time. In my opinion, he's not the strongest in defence. He's on the pitch to keep the ball, defend by keeping the ball. I think that's the mantra. But when we are defending and on the back foot, he can be got at. And I think Tierney offers a lot more strength in that aspect. But I would never leave Zinchenko out this side whenever possible. So I would let him move up one and have Tierney behind him. But regarding Tomiyasu, I have to say that at the moment, as it stands, he is the better right back than Ben White as well. More of a specific right back.
Yeah,
I would also have Tomiyasu, but I think it'd be a bit more of a rotational thing, because I think in some games we could play with the back three really well with White, Saliba and Gabriel. I think that's an incredible back three. And with the teams that are at the bottom of the table, who, with all due respect, we should be spanking, I think we should spank them this time and go for it and actually play a back three and really attack them like we have been doing it during pre-season. I think we shouldn't sort of try and nullify other teams. We should really force our game on them. Like I've said for so many years, you've heard that from me so many times. But I think with this team that we've got now, I think we're much more suited to doing that. So I would definitely, in those games, play a back three. But in the tougher games, the games where we are going to be on the back foot a bit more, I would probably play a fit Tomiyasu ahead of Ben White, which I've gone past caring now. I want what's best for Arsenal, and I love Ben White, and I don't think he did anything really wrong. He put a couple of passes astray in the first half, and I think that made people think. But apart from that, I think he had a great game. You mentioned it. I won't going to go over it again, but I think he had a really good game against Zaha, keeping him quiet. I don't think he did much wrong at all, and I really like him as a player, very, very much so. So it's nothing against him, but for the strength of the back line, I would play Tommy and I would play Tierney personally. What are your thoughts on it?
Tomiyasu is straight in. If he's fully fit and he's not going to break away like biscuits, like Big Dixon puts it, then bring him in, me back in. And as you say, for certain games, like the lesser teams, the ones that will be struggling this season, down the bottom end of the table, home and away, go 3 centre backs and put the wing backs in, and basically just go for the kill, basically, because we've got the Arsenal now, pardon the pun, to go and do an absolute no mercy 5-0 thumping on a regular basis against them sort of teams now. If we have a fully fit team, obviously, touch wood, because of the World Cup. Zinchenko, again, because obviously he knows, Arteta knows, and the club know what the plans, the main plans are when they've got a fully fit Tierney and all that. So they know what their plans are for Zinchenko. Zinchenko wouldn't have come from City to Arsenal just to be another squad player and sit on the bench, because he was just doing that at City and he's getting titles for crying out loud. So I do think, like you say, there's there's a plan for him when Tierney comes back, as a first starting 11 player still.
Mm.
And I don't mind where they play wing, midfield. I think it's more likely going to be in the midfield alongside Partey, and have Xhaka as the rotational squad player for the season, occasionally coming in off the bench or occasionally starting at the occasional game here and there.
He's a really strong player to have on the bench, Granit Xhaka.
Yeah.
To come on in times of need. He'd be a great player to still have around. I'm not an advocate anymore. That's the best thing I can say about him. I'm not an advocate anymore of getting rid of him and moving on from Xhaka. I'm quite happy to have him around because he's been a good player for us recently. And he continues to be a good player for us, an important player. But I just think, the type of football we're going to be we have moved towards really suits Zinchenko more than him. And it's not a slight on Xhaka that we move away from him or gradually. It's a natural thing to happen, over a certain period of time.
Exactly. With all due respect as well, Xhaka's he's 29, 30 now. He's pushing the wrong side of 30, put it that way. So his career's going to come to an end at some point. So we need to prepare ourselves for the eventuality of him either retiring or moving on at some point. And Zinchenko's 23, 25, give or take. I don't know what his age was now. But even
25
longevity. So it's the perfect time now to just have that transitional period, bringing him in, making him the regular fixture, that part of that pivot alongside Partey now. That's what. And just easing out Granit in terms of making it more seamless and comfortable. So if he does move on next year or retire, whatever, it doesn't have the immediate effect of what player in. He's now going to play that position, but he's not played there for God knows how long. Whereas he's going to hit and hope basically. Whereas doing what I've just said before, and in terms of transitional, putting him in now and putting Granit on the bench, for example, and rotating every now and then, it makes it a lot easier to not just easier, but when it does happen, there'll be no after effect when Granit goes. In that sense, we won't have the drop off in performance in the midfield because the bond will already been built.
Yeah. And I think it's something we can discuss another time. But I also think Miguel Aziz is moving into being ready for a place in our team at some point as a number 6 as well. I think he's looking brilliant. Played exceptionally well again, scoring another goal against Man United at the weekend. Yesterday, I think it was. 3-1 win. Yeah. And Marquinhos scored one and made one as well at the same time, which is really good to see. But I think this season, I think he's ready for a Europa League place, Miguel Aziz, and Carabao Cup. And by next season, he could well be one of our midfield options for every game in our Premier League as well. I mean, he could save us an absolute load of money by stopping us having to go out and buy one. And also, when Patino come back by then as well.
Yeah. Again, this is why you have academies, Chelsea. So you can actually, Man City, so you can actually develop players, see if they are worthy of a chance of breaking a team, not just a case of one player. And it saves you money down the line. I know, obviously, them teams I just met, Man City, more so have got the money to just throw at a wall. Chelsea, not so much, hence what they're going for, talent. That left me off during the summer, but that's another matter for another show. But again, we're famous. We've got a reputation for literally bringing in youngsters, building them up, and bringing them through. Even before my time.
Absolutely.
I'm happy as an Arsenal fan that we're bringing that back now. We went through that stage where it was just instead of recruiting we'd occasionally get the odd player in from the academy like Kieran Gibbs, Will Shears, etc. Or Chesney. But literally, apart from that, it was going out buying the talent. Whereas now we can actually still buy talent, don't get me wrong. But in certain positions, if we've got someone capable of coming in from our academy and breaking through and being able to hold their own in the league, in other competitions as well, it saves, as you say, it saves us so much money.
And they love the
It's
club.
no-brainer.
They want the best for the club, these players. They're not here as a mercenary or anything like that. They're desperate to succeed as well. So, yeah, you can't beat a good, academy player coming through and actually making it. It's really special. But another question for Victoria. I'm going to answer yours next, Tom, and then yours after that. Russ, any more that please stick them in the live chat. But Victoria also asked, if you watched the All or Nothing video, which I did, did it change or confirm your views on the Kroenkes? Great question. I have spoken about the Kroenkes a few times over the last sort of few weeks and months, and I'm of the mindset at the moment now that there's very little to complain about. I have to be completely honest with you and say exactly how I feel, which I always do. We had the issue with them over the Super League. That's going to take a while to sort of really get away. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's hard, but set that aside just for one moment. Since they have taken over in 2018, I think the club is 100% going in the right direction. They made some wrong appointments, which can happen in any business. They were slow to correct those wrong appointments, but they did. They've corrected them, and now they've got the right people in place. You can see we're really going places. So we've consistently been the biggest spenders, like last summer we were across Europe. I think this season we're on that track as well, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Probably not the biggest spender, but right up there. We'll end up being... and it's not all about the money. It's about how they're spending it now as well. And they're spending it wisely because they've got the right people in place, mainly. But they are making it available. And I think we could have a hell of a lot worse owners, to be perfectly honest. I think they're going to have to go a long way to make us all love them as owners. That's good. Yeah. That's for sure. And some people will never change their mind about them, no matter what we do. We can go with the Champions League; they'll still fly a plane over the stadium saying "Kroenke's out." There's some people like that. Always will be. But I have to say, at the moment, I'm content with them. I think that's the best word. I'm very content with them, and the All or Nothing. I don't know whether it sort of made me feel even, any better towards them, but I think it did confirm that they are a bit more interested. The fact that Josh was there and he was talking to. The jury's out on whether he truly loves the club. I think I heard Amy Lawrence, just say that he does love the club because obviously she's had the pleasure of meeting him a few times, and she openly said on the Handbrake Off podcast he does love the club, and I'll take her word on that because there's no one that loves Arsenal more than Amy Lawrence as well. Really, if you ever listen to her or read her, I think she's great. So I'll take her word for that. But I'm content with them. I really am. I mean, what's your thoughts about it all?
In terms of obviously the All or Nothing, we've only seen Josh obviously in terms of for what I think the first episode he popped up in, and obviously and then went back to do other because he's got other stuff to do as well. But again, we've got 6 more episodes to go. Again, we do know at some point Arteta does fly out to the States, so assuming there's cameras there for that as well. But you say since they dropped the thing, what's really done them that made things a lot harder for them to get the fans on side is that Super League, the debacle. If that hadn't come along, if they hadn't dragged our club's name through that, I think things would be a lot easier for them now. But they went down that route, and because it is acknowledged as well the process and all the way the fans are and all that. And it was good to hear again, in terms of Josh Kroenke anyway, recognising, we took over and we only fully took over in 2018. We've made some mistakes like any other business, like you just said. I think the biggest mistake, as I say, was that Super League. But the key thing he said, we learned from that. We learned from
we rectify it.
And since then, we've got to say, well, from what we are seeing in terms of before this documentary, I'm not saying about the documentary, I'm talking about in general, things are improving. We're hiring the right people to do the right jobs in the right roles. We're not just hiring anyone for the sake of it. And our recruitment, like you've just mentioned, and other people mentioned, throughout the summer, is second to none, probably the best in not just in the league, but in Europe, because we have a plan. We saw it, I think it was episode 1 as well. Edu, Vinay, and Josh sit down in the boardroom, and Edu was there fronting the meeting, saying, "This is our plan. This is what we've got. This is who we're looking to loan out. We've just had so and so come in. We need a couple more players here. Then these are the gaps we need to sort of fill." The other guy had just arrived in that day actually when they're having that meeting actually. But exactly, there was other positions that because they had this is who we've got, and they had them in the positions they play in this that and the other. Saliba was in the far corner of the other ball because he's out on loan. But they have a plan. It's not just there's a blueprint. And we're following it. It's not like initially there's one plan, and then 6 months later we're tearing it up. Then we brought someone else along, tore that up. Then Don Raul got found out, got rid of him, and started again. We're actually now it's been going two summers now, a whole year now. This plan has been in motion, and it's benefiting us. I'm seeing now on social media videos that have been made on something like TikTok and all that, getting shown by my brother and all that. Rival fans are making videos saying, let's all jokes aside here, this team scares me. This team should scare you.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
as an
definitely.
fan like yourself, I love that. I love that the fact that there are rival fans out there now having that fear again.
Yeah,
they're showing us respect now and saying that no, this is a serious team coming. If we ain't careful, they could blow us out the water.
Yeah, and Victoria made a brilliant point here on the screen. I think the biggest mistake was saying we don't want the legacy fans.
Yeah, that's amongst the.
I completely slipped my mind. You're completely right, Victoria. That really, really was a mistake. And running a hunting channel she's put on there as well, which I have to say, I didn't actually know that. I've never read that. I didn't actually know that, Victoria. That's new to me. But if obviously that's the case, that is a disgrace as well.
That came out not long after they came for owners. That came out. That Stan owns a shit, basically a majority shares in a channel that's animal hunting, basically. I don't know if it's still the case now, but at the time it was. This is a few years ago now.
That's obviously disgusting as well. That was a big error, and I completely slipped my mind earlier when you said that. But thank you for reminding me about that, about the legacy fans thing as well. That was a problem, to say the least. But overall, it seems to be going in the right direction. As I say, I'm content with their ownership. I'm not running and shouting from the rooftops about how wonderful they are or anything like that. I just think it's going in the right direction at the moment. Let's move on to the next question, which is from Tom. Thank you very much, Tom. He said, Andrew, what are your thoughts on the fans who couldn't be bothered to turn up to the Emirates last season, but now we are on the roll? The same fans from last season can't get a ticket for love nor money.
Yeah.
That's a problem. I mean, I really like what the club did about the empty seat problem because we do sell out every week, and we all got laughed at as a club saying the official attendance was 60,000, whatever, when you could clearly see there was thousands of empty seats because people just couldn't bother turning up. And I'm pleased the club have done something about that by saying, I can't remember the exact numbers, but if you don't turn up to so many games, your season ticket
membership and all that,
that's great, and I like that. And I mean, even at the Emirates Cup, it was a sellout from what I heard, and no one could get tickets for that just before the game. They left it too late. I heard a lot of people on Twitter saying that they expected it to be able to get tickets last minute, and they couldn't. But I looked around, and there was still loads of empty seats.
Mainly in the upper tier, though.
Yeah, that's where I was. I mean, that's where I got my ticket, and I just still think it's why have you done? Just sell it on if you're not going to go. And it does annoy me that aspect of the game because I think a sellout game should be a sellout game, and if you can't go last minute, it needs to be easier to transfer that ticket to someone else. So yeah, it is annoying. People who have season tickets think it's their God-given right to turn up when and where they like because they pay for the seat anyway. I don't like that. I mean, I think you do need to give some kind of commitment to actually attending the games that you've paid for, and if you cannot, then you have to resell it on because I know that it's hard to police because if you can't go last minute, you can't go last minute, and the club ain't going to know that you aren't going to turn up. So what do you do in that aspect? But there must be some way around it, some way of being able to do that, to sell it on with very little notice. Because
we're not telling me these people that are buying tickets are not turning up. They haven't got friends or family members that would like to go to a game.
Yeah,
very rarely go to a game or haven't been in for a while, but would like to go for a day out. You can't tell me that's not the case. It's just, I think so. Well, there's a way around. There's got to be a way around it to stop this. But yeah, because just touching it briefly, the women's North London derby, the whole apparent from what we're hearing, the whole lower tier is now sold out to the point where they're opening up the upper tier now. And they've opened up a few blocks in North Bank now. I will be disappointed because I'm going myself. I will be disappointed if it gets to a point where we've sold all the stands open, all the blocks open up for upper tier as well. So and it's touted as a sellout, a complete sellout, potential record-breaking attendance for WSL. I will be disappointed if I get there and I see empty seats.
Yeah, definitely.
Because in terms of the WSL, what's happened in this time last week, that we've mentioned it last week on my channel. It's groundbreaking, and it's good to see that the sudden spike in interest is there. That obviously people are wanting to spend a few quid, and it is a few quid for a ticket now for that North London derby. It's not expensive. It's just because it's Tottenham. I think I've paid myself £6 for my ticket, but which again, in the grand scheme of things, is nothing. It gets people's interest, and we said this. It's got to be a scheme in place, and they've got to do. And it's not just at Arsenal. This is at everyone in the WSL that's involved in WSL and women's football that has these stadiums. When they do bring them over, when they do start integrating them over to the Emirates or Stamford Bridge, etc., don't do more than just say we're just going to the Emirates. This fixture, Arsenal versus, for example, Chelsea, is at the Emirates, and that be it. You've got to do more than that. You've really got to promote it, not just online, but within your local community. Put incentives out there. For example, all the local schools and don't just single out girls and all that. All the kids, boys, girls, whatever, go out to these local schools and give to the schools X amount of tickets for free.
Exactly.
For every student, every kid that takes one, they get an extra one to obviously come with their parent or guardian, respectively. It gets them in through the door. Then obviously with that, you're getting people in the shop, buying more merchandise, in the actual concourse area, buying food and drink, as long as they're not taking the mick there.
But also getting used to going.
And make a proper day of it.
Yeah, exactly. It just become the norm to go to a ladies' game then as well. And it gets into a habit, and you realise how good it is and what the atmosphere is like, and it becomes a habit. And then, like we said before, I think last week, then you can start increasing the ticket prices gradually so that the ladies' game get the prices that they deserve, for going to one of those games, for the quality of them. But yeah, I totally agree. Got some more comments here about it. All the ticket exchanges open an hour before kickoff. 90% know they can't make it at 8 o'clock that morning, says Tom. But just totally agree. And Colonel said, Just quickly put it on the screen. Tickets tout, still get loads of tickets. I used to get tickets through my Red membership. My dad comes up, gets 30 quid ticket, and it's happened 3 times, sat in the middle tier, which is fantastic. I just really hope that it goes better this season, that we have far less empty seats. And Tom said he's in block 32 for the North London Derby for the WSL. Fantastic, mate. Hope you enjoy it.
I'm at the other end. I'm in the North Bank block 4.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And WSL games are great at the Emirates, says Tom, which is absolutely bang on.
Also, we're getting, sorry, just to finish it off, from my perspective here, in terms of getting these, putting free tickets out to the local school kids and all that, like for their mum, for themselves and a parent or guardian for the day, they get to see firsthand as well the players and how they interact before and after the games. Going around the entire stadium, like the lower tier and all that.
Yeah, get your photo with them, have a chat to them.
With them, sign autographs, etc. Anything, or a video selfie, whatever you want. They're more than happy. They're more than lenient. They're so flexible. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's really good, really good.
And you've got European winning captain Leah Williamson, player of the tournament, and Golden Boot winner Beth Mead at Arsenal. Come on, what more incentive do you need?
Exactly.
And Vivian Mead, obviously.
Yeah, and Raffaele, who won the
Copa America,
Copa America, captained her side to the Copa America as well.
What more do you want?
Exactly, that's right. More signings, actually. That's what I want.
Now officially got Nikita out the door. I do want more signings, please.
Yeah, and Tobin's gone as well.
Tobin's gone, so you went earlier on, but we do need more signings out to bulk our squad out.
Definitely. Now, I'm going to move on to the last 2 or 3 questions before we call it a night, coming up to the hour mark. Russ said, do you think we target a new right back before the end of the window, which I think is an interesting question. For me, no. It's a simple answer. I think we've got Tommy Asu, obviously, when fit, but then also we've got Ben White. Saliba can also play right back. And then we've also got Cedric as well. And whatever you say, Cedric, he's a half decent player. If he has to play a handful of games, he did us a good job last season in quite a lot of games. Wasn't great in all of them, but you know what I mean. So I think we've got 4 options there. So I can't see why we would target any right back, Russ. Personally, no. I mean, have you got a quick answer to that question?
Yeah, same as you. No, we've got plenty to cover. If we
much bigger fish to fry than another right back, in my opinion.
I think in terms of what we need and probably looking at, probably another central midfielder, maybe from Leicester, maybe or Lyon, one of the two, and a right winger that Arteta can rely on to help lighten the load on Saka throughout the season.
Yeah, I'd say the same.
If we don't get a right winger in to sort of take the load off Saka, we're pushing it as we pushed it as it was with no European football last year. We've got a World Cup and European football to contend with this season. If we don't, I'm scared that we'll get run into the ground and get injured. There'll be a big injury.
I maintain that my thoughts that Vieira will get quite a bit of time there.
It's possible, but you don't want to ease him in, isn't it? You don't want to ease him in the cups and all that first off.
That's the way of easing him in, though, isn't it? Just to give him 30 minutes to give Saka a bit of a rest at the end of games and so on. And I can see that happening. And we've got no sign of Nicolas Pepe going anywhere at the minute. So he's
no sign of him playing either. It was an option on Friday, and it didn't get picked.
Yeah, exactly.
Nelson was an option, didn't get picked.
Nelson as well. So we have to see what happens there. But thanks for the question, Russ. And Shane Curtin has said, can you see Emil Smith-Rowe progress this year? He's a shy lad. Does he have the fire to fight for a spot? I definitely think he has, Shane. I really do. I don't think he's asked. Cut him through the middle. He bleeds Arsenal, and he's like a stick of rock. He's got Arsenal right through him. I think he would do anything to get back in that team and fight for his place. He may well be quite a shy lad, but get him on the pitch he's anything but, in my opinion. I think he's definitely got the fight. I think he's absolutely really frustrated that he can't start the season yet. And I think as soon as he comes back, we'll see the old Smith Rowe again. I think he's I mean, if you watch the All or Nothing documentary again, you just remind you what a key integral player he was for Arsenal, right the way from the previous season, if you remember, obviously the Christmas before that.
Boxing Day onwards,
Boxing Day fixture, how important he is. And I think it's so easy to be out of sight and out of mind as a footballer sometimes. You forget how good these players are and how important they were to the team. He was important enough for us to give him a brand new contract and the number 10 shirt. He's not going anywhere, and he'll try and fight his way back into this side by hook or by crook, in my opinion. Do you think anything different?
Yeah, in terms of his shyness and all that, we see it. I get it. I know it's filmed last year, but we do see it in the documentary. It's like the one-on-one with Albert, and Albert's like, "No, speak up. I want you to tell me exactly what you're seeing, and what we can work together and improve this, that, and the other." I honestly think, he of course he's got the fire to fight for his spot, fight for his place at the club and all that. Not just at the club, but for his spot in the squad. Because of the 5 subs and all that. Of course, he's got that fire in his belly. As you say, he bleeds the club. They touched on it. He's been at the club. He came through at 15. They're showing the clips when he was 15, doing things at 15 that no other 15-year-old will do, football-wise, with the talent he has. And I think with certain signings we've made as well, they could bring more out of him in character, in terms of his character, in terms of his shyness. I think they can integrate with him in terms of be social with him off the pitch and all that. That'll benefit him as well, because obviously that'll bring more out of him in terms of being less shy and all that, and actually being more vocal. And that's that's what I was touched on earlier about the loans thing with Smith Rowe at Huddersfield. I said I'm not loaning you. I'm loaning you out not just to get to game time, but I don't care about your football, because your talent is unbelievable. I've got no doubt you'll make it at the club. I want to see what you're like in the dressing room. And clearly he did prove something, because Arteta clearly heard back right things, because he's not been loaned out since. He's broke through.
Exactly, yeah. I've got no doubt.
He was our second highest goal scorer last season.
Yeah. People, like I said, it's easy to forget when they're out of sight. They are out of mind, like I said before, and it's easy to forget just how good they were at that point. But he's still such a young player that I've got every faith in him to break that into the side. And I think the last question, it's a good one. So, Victoria, talking of planes, that one that flew over Selhurst Park, thoughts? Now, we can't go into too much detail on this, but just a quick one, really. I'm not going to go into the story or anything like that, because we've explained.
We'll be all day, and plus we'll get done for libel. And all
but also the thing I can't understand about that is why that person, or how that person got that made in the first place, because it's just. Honestly, who the person that took that job on to make that sign needs to long hard look at themselves, because it's against all of the actual thing that's going on, all the court case and everything. You can't say things like that. You just can't do it. You can't be associated with it.
No, but this is the thing. It's not none of these alleged. Again, we've got to say it, because nothing's been taken forward yet. Before
like I said, I don't want to go into the details of the story.
Nothing's gone to court yet. They're still doing their investigations. As their own, the police have confirmed it themselves. They are investigating, but nothing's gone any further than that. One of them's been dropped out of the 3. But that's what I did last week over on the Q&A we did last week on my channel at the end. can everyone just stop, relax? I know it's frustrating. If it turns out said person has done what has been alleged, then we cross that bridge when we come to it, and he gets what he deserves. But let the police do their job, and see what happens. That's all we've got to do.
Exactly, and it obviously was a Tottenham fan that got it sorted.
Shock over there. The irony, they've got one in their books.
But yeah, it was ridiculous, Victoria, to answer your question, and I can't believe the person who was asked to make the sign actually went ahead and made it, because it's just stupid.
So it's such a bit of added on to that from my point of view is with what tweets were going out a couple last week and whatever from said person. Not going to go into it all. I think that added fuel to the fire, which then led to what happened on Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
In my opinion, shoot me down, but it's my opinion.
Tom says, "Jesus, I didn't see that. You can't do that." That's exactly right, mate.
I was literally, it was in the group chat. And the group chat was going, "Have you seen this?" And obviously, as we saw in the group chat, then people taking photos that got all the photos basically of the plane and what it is.
Exactly. And before we go, there is a final round of fantasy fights from Colonel. Sorry, Colonel, I did nearly forget. So thank you very, very much for reminding me, mate. Right, Final Fantasy group fights. Lurch from Addams Family versus Oddbod. Ryan.
Lurch, just because he'll catch you. He's that slyness about him, where you think he's not going to land any blows or do any dirty fire. Bastard of a fire. He's that. What was it? If you ever watched that episode on Only Fools and Horses, where Rodney's describing how when he was growing up, he's Del Boy basically decided not to go for his GCSE exams and went down the market. His dad found out eventually, and they got in a scuffle and all that. His dad ended up in hospital because he said, "Oh, Del Boy was a dirty little fighter." I think that's what literally he knew where to grab and what to do, and this, that, and the other.
Yeah,
I think that's what our good friend there would be like as well.
Yeah, I think so. Herman Munster versus Frankenstein. It's got to be Frankenstein.
Got to be Frankenstein. Yeah.
Herman's just an actor.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet he's a proper lovey. Like, hello, darling. Herman Munster here.
Yeah, exactly. Compared to actual Frankenstein, there's a human side to Herman.
Exactly. It's got to be Frankenstein. And finally, a tag match: Dick and Dom versus the Chuckle Brothers.
Chuckle Brothers all day long.
Got to confirm that Chuckle Brothers must be Prime Chuckle Brothers, because at the moment there's only one of them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's Prime Chuckle Brothers versus Dick and Dom. Actually, when my kids were younger, we took them to a Butlins getaway for in the summer holidays, and Dick and Dom were there on stage. And actually, they weren't the children's TV Dick and Dom, shall I say? They were
late night Dick and Dom.
X-rated Dick and Dom. Yeah, Dick and Dom After Dark, and they were actually really quite funny. So I've got a bit of a soft spot for Dick and Dom after that. It was hilarious. So I'm going to say Dick and Dom just because I think they were quite funny on that night. Anyway,
I'm going to see now. I'm going to see the Prime Chuckle Brothers now. To me, to you, to me. Yeah.
It'll be quite a good watch, I have to say. Yeah. In fact, they did. Dick and Dom used to do this thing on the kids' show. I think when they had the play boxing thing, didn't they do that thing where they would have the massive boxing gloves on?
I think they did. Yeah.
big inflatable boxing gloves. That was quite funny.
Oh yeah, I remember it now. Yeah, bloody hell's going back. Bloody hell, yeah.
Hello, Troy.
We've got another one from Mr. Bungle, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Bungle and Troy, thanks for joining us. You're a bit late. We're going to finish in a bit, but just watch it back and give us a like. That'd be lovely. Tom, great show, guys. Work tomorrow. Stay safe. Thank you, mate. Thanks very much for all your questions. And Mr. Bungle, Betty Boop versus Katie Price.
Yeah, 100% agree. Yeah, move on.
Right,
we'll make it excited.
We'll call it a night there. There's a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for everyone's input again. You know, like we said, every single week, there's no show without you guys putting your questions into the chat. They've all been really, really good tonight. Excellent questions again. Like I say, getting better and better every single week as each week goes past. So please tune in next week. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to Ryan's channel. Hit the notification button so you don't miss each show each week as it comes around, because as you know, it alternates between one and then the other the following week. And get your questions in quite early if you want to get a question answered. Send them to us on Twitter. You know our Twitter addresses, at Mr. Arsenal89 or at From Dial Square. Throughout the week, we can put them in early doors in next week's show. So Ryan, obviously, I'll just quickly say I've got my show coming up on Tuesday at 7:30, which I look forward to. You've got yours tomorrow, haven't you, Ryan, with me and Greengrass?
Yep, getting band back together for new season.
Yeah.
Nice, like yourself, 7:30 UK time. Getting the band back together, and we've got positive. We started off this season, unlike last year, on a positive.
I know, brilliant. I'm looking forward to
I'm getting used to this. I'm liking this. I'm getting used to this positive vibes now. I'm liking it.
Yeah. So you've got that. My channel on Tuesday, if you're free, that'd be great. And just between then and next Sunday's show, what you got coming up?
All right, I'm trying to think now. I've got to talk to Gary because I've got to do episode 3 watch along before 4, 5, and 6 come out on Thursday for the Amazon documentary. So I'm going to probably try and fit that in Wednesday if he's available. And then obviously, I'm trying to think now. We're playing Saturday, don't we? So probably do a podcast again, like a preview podcast on Friday if you're available for that.
Yeah,
sure. I think be around the same time as tomorrow, but because we can sort that later on during the week and all that, confirm all that up. Trying to think, Thursday, probably do watch on for episode 4 or 5, and then do episode 6 on next Sunday if Gary's available. Saturday, Arsenal v Leicester watch along, and then match a day later on in the evening, and then Sunday probably episode 6 watch along for the documentary, and obviously before that, the next episode 10 of 10. Yeah, it's 10.
Yeah,
of this Q&A show that we're doing.
Great. No problem. That'd be fantastic. And that'd be just the last podcast I'll do for a week next Sunday, because I'll be off on holiday on the Monday morning. So that'd be good. Round off the week nicely. So thank you very much, everyone, again. Thank you for all your questions and all your interactions. Keep them coming next week, please. And we look forward to seeing you all in the chats for the shows we've got coming up this week as well on both of our channels. So thanks again, Ryan. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And everyone have a very good evening. Take care and up the Arsenal.